Hello, everyone. It's End Times Talk, and I wanted to come at you with a story of something that had happened in my past some time ago that I think that you'd find interesting. There's a period of time where I had gotten sober from drugs. Everybody that's been part of this channel from the beginning knows that I struggled with drug addiction for quite some time. But for about a year's period before I had another relapse, I had gotten sober. Okay, and I started going to church, and I knew of a few drug houses, and I knew that we had like I think it was like a Saturday service where. Or maybe it was a Friday service. It could have been a Friday service. But anyways, so I knew the Lord had spoken to me the night before and told me that there was going to be a party going on at the specific drug house and to go there and to witness to all these people. And so I had me and my wife. We were on our way to worship service at this evening service, and we had stopped at a known drug house in our area. And I boldly walked up to the door and I knocked, and they knew it was me, because I had been there before plenty of times. And as soon as I came into the house, there was, and this is in my younger years. There was teenagers snorting pills. They were drinking whiskey. They were getting ready to party for the weekend. They were getting ready to really go at it. And I asked them. I sat at the table and I looked at all of them. They were all sitting there doing drugs and drinking. And I said, I'm going to church tonight. God wants you guys to go to church tonight. Who's coming with me? And it was that simple. And that night, you can even ask my wife. I took 7 people out of that drug house that were getting ready to party, and we packed my car full. There was people basically sitting in the back seat, like in the back of my vehicle. We packed that car full, and we went up to the service that night, and we literally filled up an entire pew in that church. And you should have seen the looks of people that were happening when they'd come in. They'd literally look at us. They were just like, how is there a whole pew full of people here that wasn't here before? And this is a church service that that was a very spotty church service. There wasn't a lot of people, but they sat all apart. But here we are, this string of boys, and that night they all got touched by God like you wouldn't believe. And sometimes God just wants to take you and use you and do the wildest things. But God's favor is with you when you finally step out and you do that, and you stop worrying about what man thinks of you, and you start worrying about what God wants for your life. And I had a whole pew full of people who were drug addicts and strung out get touched by God that night, and it was an amazing thing. And God wants to use you to fill up. He wants to use you to fill up a pew. I'll tell you that right now. That's the saying from now on. He wants to use you to fill up a pew. And so I pray that this message encourages you to reach out to the people. But you need to be seeking God's face before you do these things. Make sure that it's what He wants you to do. You'll know it in your spirit when it's that time. And God wants to use you. It says in the Bible, the harvest is many, but the laborers are few. And so we got to make sure that we're getting out and we're reaching out to the people who are struggling around us. And sometimes we have to set ourselves aside and be selfless instead of being selfish. And so I pray that this encourages you, that you too can fill up a pew. May God bless you, and may God keep you.